This is Radio Wisdom, the University of Auckland 1X speed, 950 kilohertz. And this is Highway, recorded live in concert.
About 40% of the students at Auckland University come from outside the Auckland metropolitan area. And one of the attractions of Auckland University is that it offers specialist schools such as optometry, town planning, engineering, architecture, medicine and so on. And in the hostel you can meet people doing all these different subjects. This helps you develop as a person, establish more clearly what you think about your area of interest and how it relates to the rest of academic training and the university as a whole.
The first thing I noticed when I came here was the great variety of interests that people had. And you suddenly find yourself thinking on different paths and getting new attitudes towards life through all this clash of interests.
I think one of the most important things is that you meet people from all faculties in the university itself. I mean, if you're going flatting or boarding, you're only going to associate with people who are doing a BA, if you're doing a BA, or doing law, if you're doing law or something, because that's the only people you'll ever meet. But when you're in the hostel, you're meeting engineers, you're meeting law students, you're meeting accountancy students, and you're really getting among the people, you know, the whole university. It's good.
People should get more than a degree from their time at university. They should get and take the opportunity of thrashing out ideas on controversial issues with as many thinking people as possible, of listening to other people, of telling other people. For hostel students, this is facilitated by the varied socio-economic, educational and cultural backgrounds of the residents. In their own ways, the hostels provide a forum for individuals to develop, dismiss and rethink ideas. And yet all the hostels are close enough to the main campus to enable residents to take a full part in all the activities there without it being an inconvenience to their studies. Of the 10,000 students at Auckland University, something over 550 are accommodated in halls of residence. There are 5 halls where students may live: International House, Grafton Hall, O'Rourke Hall, Jean Begg House and Newman Hall. International House and O'Rourke Hall are administered by the university and each have about 160 students in them. Grafton Hall and Newman Hall are administered by church organisations and Jean Begg House is administered by the YWCA. The halls are administered by a manageress and a warden. The manageress is responsible for catering and housekeeping, and the warden is in charge of student welfare and discipline.
One thing to remember about wardens is that in most cases, or in many cases anyway, they are students, the same as the other residents of the hostel. And as students, they appreciate the problems that students have. They've been through the system, perhaps they've been through the system a few years earlier, but they know what university life's about and they can advise students about student problems.
If you've got any problems whatsoever, you can feel quite free to go and talk to them about it, and in a way that helps.
Personal facilities for students at hostels are better, I think, than in private boarding or flatting. There's adequate desk space, good beds, really good beds, and there's good washing facilities, stuff like this, really handy to your rooms.
And one advantage academically is that you're living with people who are doing the same subjects. You're living close to them. If you've got problems, you can go and discuss it with them. You can perhaps work out assignments together. And it is a lot easier than if you're living in a flat or away from people where you've got to go and perhaps study by yourself and work things out yourself.
Staying in the hostel has the convenience of being near to the varsity, near to the library, and facilities such as the squash courts and the tennis courts. And the added advantages of meals being cooked for you and little household work to be done. Whereas if you go flatting, you got to take care of the cooking, dishwashing, and household work as well.
Yeah, the quality of the food is not by sort of restaurant standards or home standards exceptional, but if you've ever been to boarding school, you'll realise that when you come here, the food is just like four-star cuisine.
There's no hassles. You know that you've got your food prepared 3 times a day. You know the hours you got your food prepared, and you've got no worries about cooking it yourself or anything.
Well, the food generally is quite reasonable as far as I see it, although, I mean, at times it's quite good to eat outside too. Huh?
When I came to New Zealand, I didn't know anybody, and it was easier for me to settle down by getting a place in the hostel. I could easily make friends with other students in the hostel than what I could have done if I was living in a private boat.
The hostels are really more like a community.
In a flat, you're essentially living with perhaps 3, 4, maybe 5 people, and you're with them all the time, whereas in a hostel there's up to 170 people, so that you're mixing with a wide range of people all the time, and you find that community life is much better developed in a hostel than in a flat.
It's what I think is the main thing about hostel life, community aspect.
As a girl, it's interesting to note that the proportion of girls in university hostels is much smaller than boys. In my own particular hostel, there are 125 boys and 33 girls, which makes 3 1/4 each.
In some of the hostels, there is a music room and a games room with pool table, table tennis table, such like things.
Yeah, you'll find it in most common rooms at night, at say about 9:30. Most people tend to have a break from their study, and they sort of go along to the common room for coffee, and you get really incredible discussions.
Once you've got friends in the hostel environment, it's very easy to let off steam after working hard.
A lot of the big things which go on campus, camping and orientation, this sort of thing, is initiated by the hostels.
Yeah, I think one of the best aspects has been the varsity life within the hostel. So we have combined stirs and everything, and we have rugby games against each other, and it really builds up a hostel spirit, which is reflected in the varsity.
Overseas students find it particularly good because when they first arrive, they don't know a thing about the city. They have no idea what kind of accommodation there is. Just go straight along to the hostel and they're made perfectly at home. And it's really a sort of home away from home, which is a good thing. And, you get settled into university life very quickly.